The city is burning. It's not overrun with illegals, but it has an illegal immigrant population that is bigger than probably, I don't know, all but 7 cities in America. If you didn't watch Lord Buckley yesterday on Viva Frei, you'd know, which was Phoenix is smaller than the illegal immigrant population in LA. Let me see this. LA donated fire trucks to Ukraine. Just want to fact check. Yeah. It's terrible having a memory and remembering things that make you feel like you're living through a crazy town. Yes, the Los Angeles County Fire Department donated surplus equipment to Ukraine. The extra equipment was donated 3 years ago and had been sitting in storage. Well, yeah, it wasn't sitting in storage when you need it for a fire. You stupid, incompetent jackasses, Gavin Newsom and Karen Pain in the Bass. So the city burns under their dereliction of duty, and these stupid jackasses, like they are, seize the opportunity to lecture everybody about how they know best how to do their job. It's an amazing thing. Like, you feel like you're taking crazy pills, where Gavin Newsom is out on Twitter like he was during the fires, lecturing other people on how to do their job. JD Vance tweets out, "Do your job. That's all we're asking." In response to Gavin Newsom, we got to go down through the Twitter whole rabbit thing on this one just to see what's being responded to when.
Hogan is becoming a rector. Should he do it? I would do it if I was. I think it's great.
Well, just so if you can't hear it, it's a helicopter blaring on the White House lawn. Somebody asking Trump, should Tom Homan arrest Gavin Newsom? To which Donald Trump says, yeah, I think I would do it. It would be great. To which Gavin Newsom, who's been at the helm of LA, California for, 10 years now, is promised to solve the homeless crisis. I guess this is how you solve the homeless crisis. Burn everything down and bring in millions of illegal immigrants. That's how you do it. This is Gavin Newsom's tweet. The president of the United States just called for the arrest of a sitting governor. Well, you could stand when he does it. This is a day I hoped I would never see in America. I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. This is a line we cannot cross as a nation. This is an unmistakable step towards authoritarianism. How about when you try to jail the president, you stupid sack of crap? I'm sorry. I hear Mark Twain's voice in my head. I don't know what his voice sounds like. I see all of his wonderful insights. Judge a man by the, Judge a man by the compliments he habitually uses for others, something along those lines. Gavin Newsom I'd say worthless, but worthless doesn't actually do destruction. He's a destructive force of nature. And I'd love to go through his Twitter feed and see how many times he called for the jailing of Donald Trump or the bankrupting of Donald Trump or the arrest of Donald Trump. Maybe he hasn't done it. Maybe he's consistent on this point. Oh my goodness, yeah. No, after 5 years of lawfare, trying to bankrupt him, trying to lock him up, then trying to kill him, this hypocrite SOB is now saying Trump has crossed the line because the sitting governor of California has been at the helm of the destruction of California. Got to divert all that natural water because of the Sacramento smelt, you idiot. And when you have the fires because of your poor forest management, they burn out of control, you idiot, because your departments are underfunded, understaffed, under-equipped because you've donated equipment to Ukraine, you idiot. Oh, but that wasn't his fault. That was Karen Pain in the Bass's fault. And now this jackass is taking to Twitter wars while his city is literally burning. JD Vance says, quite politely, do your job. That's all we're asking. And now Gavin Newsom, do your job. I'm rubber and you're glue. Whatever you say to me sticks off me and bounces back to you. This is what this idiot is thinking. We didn't have a problem until Trump got involved. Rescind the order. Return control to California. I need everybody to understand what this means. Do your job, stupid, juvenile. I'm not stupid, you're stupid. I know you are, but what am I? I know I am, but, well, you know what it is. I forget what it is. This is the dog whistle part of his tweet. We didn't have a problem until Trump got involved. I'm sorry. Trump got involved because you had a very, very big problem. Trump got involved because as a sanctuary state, I'm using that term loosely, so don't fact check me in community notes. As a de facto sanctuary state, you are harboring in LA alone, from what Mark Robert is explaining, 1.5 million illegal immigrants, 1.5 illegal aliens. So when he says we didn't have a problem until Trump got involved, Trump only got involved because of the problem. Trump's solution is to go enforce federal law in Los Angeles. We didn't have a problem until Trump started enforcing federal law. That's a dog whistle, as in get up in arms, burn shit down to prevent Trump from doing what he is not just within his rights to do, within his obligation as president of these United States of America to do. We didn't have a problem until Trump got involved to enforce federal law. And now that he's enforcing federal law, burn shit down. That's the green pass. That is the political permission slip. That is the dog whistle coming from Gavin Newsom. Go do more of it in the hopes that it chases Trump out of here. And if Trump actually buckles, I don't think he's going to. I think he learned enough from the summer of love 2020. If he buckles, the criminals will have understood that you put enough pressure on and the feds will rescind the order. The feds will go back to allowing Los Angeles to be a sanctuary city. They'll go back to letting California be a sanctuary state. And they will go back to letting the state of California defy and actively collude with impeding application of federal law. And if you had any doubts about it, and you think I'm being hyperbolic, exaggerating, Viva's gone crazy, he's just a very angry kid these days. See my face? I apparently I have resting bitch face. When I saw my face on the Sunday stream, someone posted a clip. I was like, is that what I look like? Hold on. You know what I got to do? Look, right there. I don't call it resting bitch face. I'll call it resting angry face. The resting furrow browed. Oh, instead of RBF, it'll be RFB. The resting furrow brow. I have RFB. This is a wrinkle that has accrued over time because of the unbelievable state of the universe. Just 2 weeks to flatten the curve, 2 months to flatten. 5 years later, hey, they just violated every single one of our rights. Give them more power, re-elect them. You got a governor who doesn't enforce federal, or doesn't just enforce because it's not up to him to enforce federal law, actively impedes with the enforcement of federal law, harboring illegal aliens in his state. And then you got Karen Payne in the Bass out there giving advice on how illegals can defy enforcement of federal law. Oh, no, but Viva, are you an anti-constitutionalist? You don't want to tell people their rights? Well, first things first, everybody, and I can tell you this from knowledge, not everyone in America has all of the rights under the Constitution. You don't get to steal constitutional rights by breaking into a country illegally and then saying, I'm here, the Constitution applies to me in all its beauty and glory. Sorry. And if you need any other example than Second Amendment rights, that's one. So you don't get full constitutional protections just because you illegally broke into a country to steal those rights. So yeah, due process ain't the same for an illegal alien as it is for a natural-born citizen or a naturalized citizen. Due process ain't the same for someone who broke into the country illegally versus someone who applied for the lawful visas. Due process just isn't the same thing in abstractum. Different cases, different states of legality in the country, different levels of due process. This is from Ian Yeager. Let me just see who he is. Men's physique bodybuilder, political commentator. Kind of looks like a badass. 319.3 thousand followers. Breaking! Los Angeles Mayor Karen Payne in the Bass has just advised illegal immigrants on how to avoid ICE. This is criminal. There you got a picture of Karen Bass. Know your rights. If officers ask you questions, you have the right to say, I choose to remain silent. 2, actually, I want to double check that this is in fact the graphic provided by Karen Bass. You have the right to consult with an attorney before answering any questions or signing any documents. 3, if you have valid U.S. immigration documents, carry them with you. Never carry false documents or lie about your immigration status. Well, this seems all like very good advice thus far. No law enforcement officer can enter your home without your permission unless that agent has a warrant signed by a judge. An administrative warrant from the Department of Homeland Security does not give officers the right to enter your home against your will. I would look into the fourth one, to the modalities of that. And some people are going to say, Viva, what's the big deal? This is just standard constitutional rights, and they're just telling people. First of all, I question why it's in English, but I suspect there's another version. This is sort of going back to what AOC was saying. Oh, here's what you do. I'm just advising people of their rights, and there's no broader context. There's no situational factors that might make this not exactly what it seems. And then when you have them saying, we're not going to facilitate ICE enforcement, what you have basically is the political permission slip to interfere with the enforcement and application of federal law at the state level. There's a word for that. The amazing thing is I'm having these back and forths with people on the internet. And they're people there's one person I don't mind as a human. I think she's actually mildly reasonable as far as the left goes. And someone I've had on the channel, Unlearn 16. But let me bring this up. Like, we're not playing semantics here. People are like, how could Donald Trump enact that provision of law that allows him to deploy the National Guard? He doesn't even have the permission of the state. It's totally different than when Bush did it, because Bush had the invitation of the state. Yeah, I'm sorry. The fact that you don't have the invitation of the state is the problem. The fact that you have the active opposition of the state is the problem. The fact that you have the states defying federal law is the problem. Oh no, you're going to wait for the invitation from the criminals who are breaking the law and advising others to break the law? Now you understand in retrospect why they didn't accept the National Guard on January 6th, because they needed it to be what they weaponized it into, a total bastardization of fact and law for political profit. I was having a back and forth. And then Unlearn says, he is claiming insurrection. He is asserting his dominance over the state's right to control the protest. I realize he can usurp all sorts of powers. He has been working up to this for 5 months. We both know that militarizing blue states is his absolute endgame. Set aside the rest of this. He's claiming insurrection. He's asserting his dominance over the state's right to control the protest. To which I just ask the obvious question. What do you call illegal aliens and other criminals flying foreign flags as they destroy and burn and vandalize while state officials vow to defy enforcement of federal law? What do you call that? I don't use the word insurrection flippantly. What else would you call that? It's as close to insurrection as you're going to get, people, from a legal standpoint. And the worse things burn in Los Angeles, the more Gavin Newsom lectures everybody else about how to do their jobs. The more Karen Bass doubles down. You have, if it's not all illegal aliens participating in the protest, from what Mark Grobert, Lord Buckley spoke about yesterday, you might very well have local citizens participating in criminality. That's what it is. Criminality, flying the Mexican flag, and we now know what La Raza is all about. Mark Grobert calling it Lantifa. We know what it's about. And if you want to talk about what the end goal was for the last 5 months, 5 years, we know what that end goal was. It was to bring in so many illegal aliens, open up the borders, welcome them, do not come, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, so that you can then say the problem is too big now to be dealt with via deportations. We've got to expedite citizenship of these illegals so you can work your way towards a one-state country for the rest of the history of the country. What was it? Demographics is destiny? Let me just go. There were several more tweets that I wanted to get at here. Let me just, at the risk of bringing some stuff up on my Twitter feed. I know there was more about Gavin Newsom. He really, really is scum of the earth, just lecturing everybody while he is a derelict. I can derelict my own balls. You got U.S. Senator John Fetterman, who says, I unapologetically stand for free speech, peaceful demonstration, and immigration, but this is not that. This is anarchy and true chaos. My party loses the moral high ground when we refuse to condemn setting cars on fire, destroying buildings, and assaulting law enforcement. I felt a little bad about the nastiness of this reply. Your party lost the moral high ground when they ran a brain-damaged candidate only because they needed a warm body to fill the seat. Sorry to be blunt, John. I want to pretend that it was like next level chess, like I was actually subtly referring to Joe Biden. I wasn't. I've talked about how John Fetterman was exploited by his party because at a time when he was going through physical mental trauma, his party, instead of saying, take a seat, heal, they said, no, we're going to exploit you in your brain damaged state because we need anybody, a warm body to fill the seat. It doesn't even matter that you're going through what you're going through. You'll get elected. And we will exploit you in your most vulnerable time because that's what good Democrats do. Then after the tweet went out and I saw the comments and the you talking about Joe Biden, then I realized, I've been saying it for a while. Democrats are the kings of exploiting the vulnerable. and the young. They exploited Joe Biden in his mental fragility. Useful idiot he was. They exploited John Fetterman. They exploited Greta Thunberg when she was a kid. They exploit confused children to convince them that they're boys when they're girls, and they can put them through genital mutilation. They are the kings and queens of exploiting the mentally vulnerable. And they exploited John Fetterman, but John Fetterman is a jackass. John Fetterman is the one who voted against Tulsi Gabbard. He voted against RFK Jr. He is a man who, through his action and inaction, has contributed to the problem. And now my party loses the moral. Then leave your freaking party, John. Don't say, hey, my party loses the moral high ground, but I'm sticking with him through it because, hey, like they did with Joe Biden. Yes, I know you allegedly sexually abused Tara Reid, to quote Olivia, what's her name there? Gloria Allred's daughter. Bloom was her name, whatever. I know he was handsy and you're not asking for it, and I believe you, but we need to get our confirmed sexual improper person up in the White House because we can't have Trump there. It's just the hypocrisy is absolutely mind-blowing. But where was it, Gavin Newsom? Oh, yeah, here we go. This is another one where he's lecturing people. Tom Cotton this time. It's like, what the hell is he doing? Sitting on Twitter, picking fights with people who are criticizing his dereliction of duty? Tom Cotton says what's happening in Los Angeles is a threat from the left. They demand open borders or they will riot. And damn politicians like Newsom will back them. It won't work. We must never tolerate this lawlessness. That's exactly what I was saying. It's the political permission slip and it's the call to action. Well, we were doing just fine. Those 1.5 million illegals in LA were doing just fine until Trump came in. So pull back Trump and let our 1.5 million illegals live in LA now. Oh, there's too many of them to deport, right? There's too many homeless people to solve the crisis for. Gavin Newsom, that stupid jackass that he has promised to reduce it, ended in 10 years. 10 years later, it's only worse than it's ever been. Arrest him. Lock him up. RICO conspiracy, defrauding federal tax dollars. There's something there. The only one supporting lawlessness is you and every one of Trump's minions who are allowing him to illegally militarize our city and incite violence. This is not a robot. This is not like someone who we don't know if it's a real person. This is a real person, and he's the stupidest, most scoundrelous jackass on the planet. That's what's the latest going on in California. Holy sweet merciful goodness. Let me see what's going on in the chat. I can't get over it. It's just it's like you fail your way up in government. These idiots are dishonest scoundrels on earth, and they use the violence of the people that they have invited to enter illegally. Basically a predatory incursion, basically an invasion, and now they're calling on their soldiers, their foot soldiers. More violence to make Trump back out so that we can have lawlessness, but our controlled lawlessness within the states. Biltong's in the house, and he says, premium Angus and Wagyu Biltong. See, look at that. What is this? RFB. Resting furrow-browed, Viva. Let me just get my eyes up here, okay? Premium aged Angus and Wagyu Biltong from Biltong, USA. High protein, no additives, authentic handcrafted meat snack made out of Texas. Naturally air-dried and delicious, BiltongUSA.com. Use code VIVA for 10% off. It's delicious. It's amazing. What day of the week is it? It's Tuesday. I have no idea. I don't even know what month it is anymore, but yes, it's Tuesday. Get some. You can get some for Father's Day. Every father on earth loves jerky, and this is better than jerky. In fact, if you ever taste this, you'll hashtag not a sponsored ad. You will never go back to beef jerky again. And when you do, because you're on a road trip and you forgot your bag of biltong and you have to go get that crappy, I won't name any companies by name, out of the gas stations, you're going to be like, how on earth did I ever eat this leathery shit? Okay, then we got Guido 240. There we go. Mark Twain. A man's character may be learned from the adjectives which he habitually uses in conversation. You see, someone's going to think ill of me because I use jackass, moron, scoundrel, scumbags, enemy of the people habitually in conversation, but that's only because my conversation typically involves describing Democrats and liberals. There, I said it.